Alrighty, good stuff. I have a very disruptive puppy who's currently asleep because of all of the disruption she's been doing while I've been trying to do class. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to keep it that way for a little while, but apologies if she comes and sits on my head, which she tends to do. So, but she's fast asleep at the moment, which is good. We're going to start. I want you to keep your strap or your tea towel handy, but we're going to start with just a little bit of lumbar movement. Okay, so sit with your knees bent. This could be out here if you wish. If you come to here and sort of this starts happening, then give yourself a bit of space to work with. So take the feet away a little bit. I like to have them just slightly apart, and I'm going to hang on in behind the back of my thighs. We're going to start with just moving the lumbar spine, but let's just try and get some length through the spine first before we get moving. So on your breath, it doesn't matter which one, in or out breath, I want you just to think about lengthening through the spine a little bit. So just see if you can grow a little bit taller, but at the same instance, you want your sit bones to be grounded. So you're almost pushing down through the pelvis as you're lifting up through the spine, holding on. I don't have much of a grip here, but you can grip on as much as you like. Okay, I've got a light touch. I'm going to hold here. I'm going to get into it. Take a big breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, I want you to keep your shoulders above your hips and just start pushing the pelvis posteriorly backwards to create a little bit of shape through the spine, taking the chin down. So actually you're not moving through the hip at the moment, you're just pivoting the pelvis backwards. And then as you inhale, you start lifting the pelvis forwards, restacking the spine, sitting up nice and tall. And exhale, pelvis goes first, push it back, posterior, tilt of the pelvis, roll through the spine, take the chin down. Inhale, bringing the pelvis anteriorly, lifting back up through the spine, sitting nice and tall. Easy peasy. Couple more. So really, your focus is here. I want you to try and push the pelvis back. We tend to be able to move our thoracic spines in this direction quite easily because of the way we sit. But sometimes we get a little bit stuck in the lumbar spine. So that's your focus, taking the pelvis back, so you're rotating backwards, allowing the spine to follow, taking the chin down. The further the chin goes down, the more length through the back of the extensors you get, and then reaching forward. So this time we are going to create a little bit of movement or more movement through the hip. I want you to posteriorly tilt the pelvis, create that shape, and then keep moving until your arms are long. But I'm still pushing down through the front here. I've got this shape in the body. Take a breath in. And then exhale, lead with the crown of the head, light pull on the legs. If you want to, take your head down to your knees, headbutt your knees, and then slowly restack the spine so you're sitting up nice and tall. And again, creating the shape first, then you're moving through the hip, lengthening away. Light grip, take a breath, pushing into the rib cage, connect through the front here, and then slightly come forward, head down. Headbutt your knees if you can reach them, restack the spine, sit nice and tall. That's it, 2 more, just like that. Reaching down. Going back, breathing in, connecting through the front of the body, reaching forward, headbutt. And restack, last one. Reaching back in the pelvis, long in the arms. Reaching forward with the body, head comes down. Lengthen through the back of the spine. You can pull yourself down here if you want a bit more stretch. And restack, lift, 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 lift. And as you come up, I want you to bring the arms out. Think about the position of your shoulders and your spine, nice straight. Roll the shoulder humeral joint back, open up in the chest a little bit, palms facing in towards each other. I want you to lift up through the body as you reach, 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 reach. So again, we're trying to reach through the top of the hands as we're pushing down through our sit bones. And then I want you to rotate round towards me. I'm taking my opposite hand to its opposite knee and using that and my connection with my back hand to get a rotation. I'm also using my eyeballs. All right, so I'm looking. Nice big breath out as I do that. And then inhale, reaching back up, nice long spine. Exhale, taking the arms out to the side, keeping my spine long. I'm not leaning back into it. I'm still keeping my shoulders above my hips. The opposite arm comes to the outside knee and I rotate and look as I breathe out. Nice big long breath. Nice big in-breath. Exhale. Inhale. Lift, 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 lift. Exhale, rotate. Coming up into the center, last time, reach tall. And then bring the arms down. And I want you to reach one of your legs straight. Doesn't matter which one, we're going to do both. And then the other one, I want you to bring the heel up towards the pelvis as much as you can. So as far up the thigh as your hips will muster. Okay, this will give the hip a little bit of a stretch here in the front. I want you to grab your strap or your tea towel or whatever it is that you're using and place it around the ball of the foot. So I have my ankle and dorsiflexion here, so it's in this sort of L shape. If you find that that's too much, i.e. your hamstrings or your calf muscles feels like it's stretching a little bit too much, start here. Don't come into too much dorsiflexion. Okay, so you choose what's right for your body. I want you to hold quite close to your feet though, as close as you can. Still keeping a nice straight back, shoulders down. Taking a breath in, and as I exhale, I'm taking my chin down and I'm drawing my elbows backwards, not out, backwards, as I bring my body down towards my thigh, okay, and finding my first point of stretch. All right, adjust your hands if you need to. Take a breath in, and then exhale, see if you've got a little bit more there. So try and avoid the forehead to the knee. What you want to try and do is get the body to the thigh, okay? Really use your arms if you want to get more stretch. Just listen to your body. Each time you breathe out, either stay where you are if that's fine for you, or a little bit further down, maybe just a millimetre or so. Couple more breaths here. Exhale, reach. And again, exhale, reach. Take a breath. I want you to relax the grip on your tea towel or your strap and restack the spine. Sitting up, sitting up, sitting up, nice and tall. And just switch legs. So bring your heel into the long leg, take the other leg away, come up as high into the thigh as you feel that you can. Grab your strap, place it over the ball of the foot, just underneath the toes there. Okay, grab as close towards your foot as you can, but try and see if you can get a nice long spine. Take a breath. I'm going to get a good grip on. And as I exhale, I'm going to draw my elbows down the side of my body. That's where I want them. That's the trajectory that they're going in. You're obviously not making it there, but that's what I want you to do, down towards the sides of the body. Okay, find your first stretch there. Stay in your dorsiflexion if you want. Remember, you can point into it if you wish. All right. Take a breath in, exhale, pull down. Nice big breath, exhale, see if you've got a little bit more. I'm just going to use what I can here to get a bit more stretch. Exhale, reach. And reach. And then slowly just release the grip. Start to restack the spine. Sitting up nice and tall. From here, we're just going to finish this hamstring and calf stretch with bringing both of the legs together and doing the exact same thing. I'm grabbing quite close again to my feet. I put my ankles in dorsiflexion. I'm trying to lengthen through the spine, taking a breath in, taking the chin down and drawing the elbows back towards the sides of the body as I stretch, stretch, stretch. I want to adjust my hands. I'm going to grab onto my feet because I want a little bit more stretch. Just do what works for you. As you exhale, when you're breathing in this position, just think about where you're taking your breath. It's quite hard to breathe into your tummy, isn't it, in this position? So maybe when you're thinking about inhaling, maybe think about how do I direct my breath into the sides of the rib cage, and exhale slowly out. One last breath pattern, inhale and exhale. From here, I want you to let go of the strap. Place the hands down onto the floor, either side of the legs. Take a breath in, and then slowly relax through the ankles. Start to restack the spine. It should feel lovely. It does for me. Right, and then I'm just going to scooch myself forward because we're going to come down onto the mat. So you can grab in behind the back of the legs if you wish, and just lower yourself down or get yourself down how you best want to. So we're going to do some bridging. So I'm going to take the towel out because I don't want it underneath my neck. The feet are slightly apart and reaching the arms nice and long. So remember about the position of the pelvis here. So think about your two ASIS bones and your pubic bone on the same level on the front of the body. Okay, nice and so bony prominences. Don't worry about the soft tissue, just the skeletal bony prominences there, nice and aligned. Take a breath in. Feet are evenly weighted. Exhale, gather in through the front of the body first. So think about pulling the pubic bone round towards the belly button using your abdominals, and then slowly rolling up through the spine. Come up to whatever height you want to work at here. It's up to you. Take a breath and then slowly lower it down. So remember, take your time on this down phase. You want to lay each part of the spine down. And just take a mental note. Which part of the spines do you feel you've got control with regards to its mobility? What part of the spine do you feel that you don't? Do you feel that you weight more to one side than the other? Okay, what does it suggest about how you use your body? I find that some stuff interesting. Take a breath and exhale slowly down. Thousands wouldn't. Slowly layer the spine down. And when you get to your lumbar spine, to the bottom of the spine here, just before the pelvis, I want you to stop there, okay, and hold there, and then walk your feet and your knees together. Take your arms out to the side. You can open up in the shoulders here if you want and bring the palms up. I'd like you to keep your feet stacked and your knees stacked, all right, and then just slowly get yourself through into a neutral position again. And then as you exhale, I'm going to keep my feet stacked as I take my knees over to the side. So I'm lifting the hip, take a breath. And exhale, slowly come back into center. So I use the side body to do that, the obliques. Over to the other side, dropping down. My knees and my feet stay aligned, take a breath. Then pulling into this long side of the body, lifting up. So be conscious about the movement. I want you to think about what muscles you're needing to engage to move. Side body pulls together, lift. Take a breath, over to the other side. Drop it down, knees stay aligned. Take a breath, coming up. Okay, bring the arms back down to the side of the body. Take the feet and the heels away a little bit. So you're back into your bridging position. Pelvis nice and neutral. Breathing in here. Exhale, I want you to gather in through the center. Pull the pubic bone round, rolling up. And this time while you're up here, I want you to bring the arms overhead. And as you do that, lift the heels up. Keep the knees aligned, reaching up through the pelvis. Take a breath. Slowly roll down. The arms stay behind you and the heels stay up as you roll down onto the floor. And as the pelvis hits the floor, take the heels down and bring the arms over. Take a breath in. Exhale, arms go over, lifting up, come on to your toes or the ball of your feet as you come up, lift, 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 lift. Take a breath. Exhale, lower down, nice and slow. As you get down to the lumbar spine, to the pelvis, take the heels down. Take the arms down, gather in through the front of the body. Okay, so use your abdominals, bring the lumbar spine back down onto the mat. Arms go back out into a T, and if you wish, you can bring the legs up into a double knee fold or keep them where they were and repeat that last exercise that we did when we're taking the knees from side to side. Otherwise, I want you to lift the hip and take the knees and the feet over. Not all the way. I want you to control it. This is not about getting as close to the ground as possible, because I want you to keep your control, but I also want you to keep your shoulders down. Take a breath in here. Then I'm using the side body to pull back into center. Over to the other side, take it across. Breathe in, and then engage the side body. Exhale, come back into center, take a breath. Over to the other side, reach. Inhale here. Hold on. And over, reach. Take a breath. And come back in. So you can either lower both of the legs down by bending the knees and placing them down, or one leg at a time, taking them apart slightly, bringing the arms directly above the shoulders, reaching up towards the ceiling so the scapula come away from the spine, and then exhale, bring them back down again, and bring your pelvis into a neutral position. Take a breath. Exhale, connect through the front of the body, and slowly roll. So you've got a choice here. You can stick with a heel lift from side to side, or you can choose to take the leg off the floor entirely. Now, the other option is to take the arms down here, okay, which gives you a little bit more stability. So you're lifting up in your bridge and you're nice and even. I'm going to put all the weight through my left foot, my left heel, to try and get this glute on. Remember, make the glute work to lift my right leg up into a single knee fold. So if you want to bring your arms up, bring them up, but it gives you less stability. And then I take that toe down and take that heel down, and I go over to the other side and reach. Take a breath. And take the toe down and take the heel down, transfer the weight and lift. So you want to try and minimize the amount of movement through the pelvis as you go from side to side. Do that by trying to use those steps of connecting in through the glute. Ball of the foot, heel of the foot, glute comes on, lift. Take a breath. Ball of the foot, heel of the foot, and lift. And again, if this starts to feel a little bit too much, just go back to heel lifts from side to side, bring the arms down, just adjust. Find what works for you today. This is the last one. Toe and heel down. This time I want you to take the arms behind you and again to stretch up in the body. Just see if you've got a little bit more length. Reach out through the ends of the knees, reach out through the ends of the hands, and then slowly roll down. Roll, roll, roll. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All the way down. Bring the arms down. And then just allow the knees to loosely go from side to side, or you can bring them in. Okay? Your body will tell you which one you want to do. Just choose. Then we're going to turn and face onto our sides. So this is where I'm going to use a pillow, a towel. Okay, so we're going to do some chest openings here. So I'm bending my knees. Let me get my strap out of the way. I'm bending the knees. My hips are stacked on top of each other, okay? So top hip, bottom hip. So I'm not hanging back here, or I'm not reaching forward. The hips are stacked, and I have one hand on top of the other. All right, sharky type, crocodile type. Spine is nice and long. So just think about the back of the head in line with the back of the pelvis, and your feet are in line with the back of the pelvis. So you've got a nice straight line. Take a breath in here, and as you breathe out, I want you to try and keep this bottom arm nice and long as you exhale and rotate, and watch your arm go. So the idea is to try and keep the movement to this upper part of the body. So you're really thinking about, again, thoracic rotation. What it doesn't mean is that you want to take your hips over with you, because it kind of defeats the purpose. You want to move as far as you can go, that your thoracic spine will allow you into shoulders to some extent, and then bringing the arm back down again. Take a breath in, exhale, open, and hang out here. Take a breath in. As you exhale, see if you can reach a little bit further. Again, use your eyeballs, top tip. Where your eyes go, your body will follow. And come down. And one more here. You can hang out and do this for as long as you like. Right, this is one of the lovely stretches. Especially when you use your breath. Take a big breath out and just let open up. And come back. I'm going to change the position of my hands now by putting one of my hands on the top of my pelvis. And this one's going to come across and hold here. If you want a bit more support, take this other hand down. You can stay there if you wish. In fact, let's just keep it there. It's okay. Keep your feet together. And as you exhale, I want you to open in the knee. And then close. So the point here is not to be rolling off your hip. You try and keep both your hips stacked. And down. 3 more, open. And close. And 2. So I do want you just to think about what's going on with your shoulder. Make sure it's in place and your elbow is in line and you're not back here somewhere. Then I want you to open up in the knee and bring the foot up a bit as well. So from here, without crunching into the side of the body, so as soon as you see this change happening, you know that you're lifting it too high. You lift the leg up and then back in line. And lift. And down. So focusing on the abductors of the hip, and then adduction as it comes back in. So I'd lift and down. And it doesn't matter if you can't go very far without moving through the body. That's all right. A couple more, not really counting, as you guys well know. And then lifting up and hold here. So now I want you to write your name, full names with your knee, including middle names, which is not great. Mine's quite long. Remember to dot your I's, nearly at the end of my middle name. Now on to my last name. A, D, D, E, and N. And take it down and pat the hip out and take both the legs nice and long just for a last bit here. Again, you can keep your arms on the top of the limb here, or you can bring it down to the front. But if you're going to bring it down to the front, I don't want you to be putting all your pressure through your fingers. It's a really light touch. So long legs straight down, not in front or behind, straight down. Take a breath. And as you exhale, I want you to float both legs up off the floor and just think about reaching them away and then slowly down and then lift and down. Only 2 more. Reach the legs, reach, 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 reach. Keep it nice and long on the side of the body. And last one, reach, 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 reach. And bring them down. Literally just want you to flop over onto your front. So take your headrest out. Arms down, forearms down, legs slightly apart. Give yourself a little bit of space. Taking a breath in here, just think about that really slightly, just light engagement of the belly button in towards the spine, just very light, just to remind you. And then as you exhale, I want you to think about lifting the chest away, using the strength in between the shoulder blades. Just think about being picked up in between the shoulder blades. Reach the shoulders down, keep the head long. So you're not looking down here or here. You're looking towards the mat, keeping the cervical spine in line with your thoracic spine. And from here, just see if you can draw the elbows back a little bit. I don't want you to move them. I want you just to draw back, lift out through the crown of the head as you do that. And then slowly come down. Over to the other side. Up again. Lift, 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 lift. Take a breath. Draw down through the elbows, lifting up through the crown of the head. Reach long through the legs. And slowly down. Relax the shoulders. 2 more lift. Find the height you want to work at. Drawing back through the elbows, lifting long. Reach long through the whole body. This has got activity. And down. Relax the body. Last one, lifting up, 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 up. Take a breath, drawing back through the elbows. Lift, 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 lift. And then slowly coming down. Relaxing through the body. And from here, I just want you to push back onto your heels, reaching your arms forward. If it means this for knees that don't like to bend, then that is just cool. Otherwise, if you want to do this, use for spine, what stretch your body prefers, and lengthen just in this position for a couple of breaths. And then from here, we're going to go and do the other side. Okay, so I'm going to grab my pillow. We'll start with our chest opening. So the knees are bent, the heels are in line with the sit bone, the back of the head is in line with the sit bones, my arms are out front. All right, nice long body. Take a breath in. And then exhale, open up, watch it go. Keep the knees reaching forward, looking behind you. Take a breath in and just hang out here for as long as you want. You can just do one big long stretch in this position if that's what you prefer. Otherwise, come forward and we'll do 2 more. And exhale, open. Breathing in, big breath out, open a little bit more, reach, look, and down. Last one. Open up in the chest, open up in the rib cage, take a big breath in, feel all the connections into the rib cage. Breath helps. Exhale, reach, and then bring the arm back over again. Place it on top of the pelvis if you wish, making sure the shoulder and the elbows in a nice position, back here. Okay, and then keeping the feet together, still stacked on the hips, open and close. Okay, so you're breathing out and in. Just use your breath. And again, it doesn't matter how wide or how open your hip goes. This one doesn't open as well as the other one, and the reason is because that one's in permanent rotation. Okay, and it's just the way my body is, and I recognize that, and that's okay. Lift the knee, hold the foot up so it's in line with the hip. My knee is in line with my hip, although it's a little bit hard to see because I'm black on black, but it's a bit silly of me. And then I want you to lift higher. Remember, no moving through. I don't want you to move through the rib cage here. Drop it back down and lift, and down, and lift, and down. We're still taking note of where our shoulder and elbow is sitting, not forgetting that. Couple more. And then I just want you to bring the knee in line and your full names. So off we go, writing it with the knee. The point here is obviously to get movement through the hips. So make sure you take it behind, do big loopy joined up writing. Dot S E and button. B U D, big D, big D, big loopy E, and off we go. In and back. Take it down, stretch through the legs, final little movement. Nice long bodies. You can take the hand down, remember, but don't use it as a support too much. I want you to try and use your body. Lift. Reach the legs away and down. And lift, reach. And down. And last one, lift and reach. Reach, 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 reach. And down. Bring the legs in. Push yourself up. Coming to the end of our time. So bring your feet together, knees out to the side. Grab onto the shins. And then just take the chin down and reach yourself forward. Again, just get a nice stretch through the spine, into the hips. Restack the spine as you breathe out. Just each vertebra at a time, lifting up. And I'm just bringing my chest forward and rolling my shoulders back as I lift up. And do my best impression of a Queen record cover. My light. And down, reaching forward. And exhale. Last little restack of the spine, make it count, sit nice and tall, reaching down through the sit bones, lifting up through the chest, rolling back through the shoulders.